Alright, today you need the word problems, adding and subtracting fractions. There are 2 sheets. You're really only going to need to cut out one of them. So the first thing I'd like you to do is turn to your table of contents. And on page 15, notice there's a ditto on 14 for me. On 15, you're going to write word problems. Adding and subtracting fractions. And that just comes straight from the top of the page. All right, so if you're not done writing that down, pause. If you are done, go ahead and turn to page 15. All right, 15 should be next to what we did with mixed numbers. We're going to just do one page today in the journal, and the other page is actually going to be an assignment. So go ahead and cut out this page and glue it in. So go ahead and pause your video and return as soon as you have it cut out and glued in. All right, welcome back. We are going to work on adding and subtracting fractions in word problems with like denominators. Next week we will start working with, this is Monday, I guess. Tomorrow we will start working with adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. So today will be the last day where we're working with like denominators. So we are going to solve word problems. So the first thing you need to do when we work with a word problem is read the story. A lot of times if you read the story or the problem out loud and you skip the numbers, it's easier for you to figure out what's happening in the story, all right? Because it's a narrative, it's a little fiction story. So at a party, Andy and April shared a cherry pie cut into pieces. Andy ate blank of the pie, and April ate blank of the pie. What fraction of the pie did they eat all together? All right, so the first thing you have to do when you're working with a problem like this is decide what operation we are using. All right, what problems? This is going to be an addition problem, a subtraction problem, a multiplication problem, a division problem. And there are key words in the problem that let us know which operation it will be. All right, and generally, especially in 5th grade, those keywords are in the actual question. So this was a statement, and then we have a question down here that says, what fraction of the pie did they eat altogether? Question mark. All right, so we're wanting to know altogether what did they eat. So if I ate 1 apple and Miss Club ate 1 apple, how many apples did we eat altogether? 2. So that's an addition problem. So this word right here lets us know that we're going to be adding. Okay? So where it says operation, you're going to write addition. And then because we only have a few numbers here, we are going to need to determine what numbers we need to use in our equation. All right, the equation is the problem. It's not the problem and the answer, it's just the problem. The solution will be created down here. So now I can go back and read the story with the numbers inside to determine what ones we need to use for our equation. So at a party, Andy and April shared a cherry pie cut into 10 pieces. Andy ate 3/10 of the pie, and April ate 2/10 of the pie. What fraction of the pie did they eat altogether? Now, we need to determine what numbers we need and what numbers we don't need to pay attention to. And in this case, the fact that it's cut into 10 pieces and they've given us the fractions already over 10 means that this 10 right here is superfluous. We don't need that number, all right? It's just there to kind of distract us. Or if we were going to draw a picture, it would tell us that there's 10 pieces, but so do these fractions, all right? So sometimes they'll add additional numbers to make sure you know what you're really doing. So we're going to take 3/10 because Andy ate 3/10 and April ate 2/10, and we want to know what they ate all together, and we know we need to add them. So we're going to take 3/10 plus 2/10, and that's going to be our equation. All right. Now to solve the problem, I'm going to write it down here. And if you need to draw a picture to solve the problem, you most certainly can solve the problem drawing a picture. But I'm able to look at this problem and add these fractions without drawing a picture because I'm going to remember a few rules. And the first rule I'm going to remember is when I'm adding like denominators, my denominator stays the same. Okay? So I just go ahead and mark over 10. And then what I do is I take the numerators and I go ahead and I just add them together like I did when I was in first grade. So 3 plus 2 is 5. So I have 5/10. Now, this is not the simplest form. And in order to get to the simplest form, I need to divide these numbers by a number that goes into each of them the same. All right, so if I look at this, I know that 5 goes into 10. So I'm going to divide this fraction by 5 over 5. And I'm dividing it by 5 over 5 because 5 over 5 is 1. Just like when we multiplied to find a equivalent fraction, we're also finding an equivalent fraction here too, but we're dividing. So we're dividing by 1, which means we're not changing what the fraction looks like, not the size of it. We're just simplifying it. Okay? So if I was going to draw the picture, it would still be the exact same picture in terms of how much was shaded. It would just be smaller parts. Okay? I think that makes sense for you. So if I divide 5 by 5, I'm going to get 1. And if I divide 10 by 5, I'm going to get 2. And we know that 5 goes into 10 twice, and this is half. All right, so they ate half of the pie together. So down here, I'm going to write half of the pie. Okay? Now, moving on. When Leslie arrived at the party, 7/8 of a pumpkin pie was left. All right, so a certain amount of a pumpkin pie was left. If Leslie ate blank of the pie, then how much was left? All right, how much was left? This lets us know what type of problem this is. Is it addition? Is it subtraction? Is it multiplication? Or is it division? And if I think about how much was left, if I had $5 and I spent $4, how much money is left? Well, in order to figure out that, I take 5 minus 4 and I get 1. So I know that this, how much was left, is a subtraction problem. So I'm going to put subtraction here. And notice what I'm doing. A lot of times I will take whole numbers instead of fractions, and I will think of a problem in my mind that is a simple problem with whole numbers. And it makes it much easier to figure out where the numbers need to go, all right, where the fractions need to go. So when Leslie arrived at the party, there were 7/8 of a pumpkin. So let's pretend that there were 5 pumpkins and pumpkin pies, and Leslie ate 2 of the pies. Well, then I would take 5 minus 2 to get an answer. So in this case, I'm going to take 7/8 because that's how much pie was there when she came and started, and I'm going to subtract 2/8. And this is our equation. All right. Our solution will occur down here. So when they ask for an equation, they don't want the answer. They just want the equation. And they will trick you on tests and give you a problem like this where the answer's there and one where it's not, and you will get it wrong if you mark the one that also has the answer. So you need to pay attention to the fact that all they're asking for is the equation. So 7/8 minus 2/8. Because we're dealing right now with like denominators, I don't have to do anything except move my 8 over here, because when we subtract or we add, our denominator stays the same. Okay? So then I go up to the top in the numerators, and I just subtract like normal. 7 minus 2 is 5. So I have 5/8. So my solution is 5/8 of the pie was left. So she ate 2/5, and we have 5/8 left for whomever else is at the party to eat. Okay? So 5/8. Now, this will be the only page you do today in this notebook. This page that you also have is here for you to work on, but you're going to actually put your answers on the assignment that's on Schoology, which is on Teacher Made, where you put your name in and then put the answers. So you're going to do these problems. That's what your work is for today. And you're going to do that assignment in the folder that's called Story Problems or Word Problems on Schoology. All right? So I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.